Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Zap Gun mod, which is being made by user GemOI6. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is an absolutely amazing new makeshift laser weapon that I have been having so much fun with. Not only is the design on this thing glorious and very much looks the part for a makeshift laser weapon made in the post-apocalypse, but it has a lot of really fun modifications, so you can turn this thing from everything from the standard pistol that it starts as, to rifles, submachine guns, even a freaking flamethrower. And that, well, that's just fun. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the Zap Gun. Now, in its most standard form, it will do 22 energy damage and 5 radiation damage with a pretty typical fusion cell, with a firing rate of 2, range of 83, accuracy of 65, and a weight of 3.9. And, I mean, come on, as you can see on this thing, it is gorgeous. I love how this thing is put together. Even though I actually do very much dislike the pipe rifles in this game, I always did enjoy the fact that they were makeshift weapons in a post-apocalyptic environment. And we had things like the, oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of the radiation gun now, but we had those, plus the laser muskets. I always wanted something, though, a little bit more thrown together. And, well, here we are. We have this beautiful thing, and it has so many wonderful different modifications that you can add onto it to really change it up and make it more useful into the, I'll say mid-game, as this is definitely more of a, well, depending on the modifications, it could actually become somewhat of an endgame gun, but for most of the modifications, in my opinion, it'll put it solidly into the mid-game, but still very, very cool, and just a lot of fun to play around with. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these lovely things, oh wow, it's easy. It's super easy. Now, first off, it is added into the leveled loot list, and you will find it on weapon vendors and basically any enemy except for the Brotherhood of Steel. Seriously, you can find it on Raiders, Gunners, Minutemen, Wastelanders, and Super Mutants, just not the Brotherhood of Steel, which I guess makes sense. They want the real laser weapons. Now, on top of that, you can also go and make it at any chemistry station in the world, provided that you do have rank 1 in science and rank 1 in gun nut, as well as some adhesive, aluminum, circuitry, glass, gold, plastic, and screws. Very good there, always nice. But that's, oh boy, that's not all. There is also, a normal one that you can find in Sanctuary down in the basement. So one you can go ahead and just find in the world without having to make or get off an enemy. There's also a unique variant in a government building you'll have to go find. And there's even a skill magazine at the Gunner's Plaza. And there's even more. There's even more that we'll get to later. But a really cool part about how these will spawn into the world on enemies is that they'll start at level 3 with the basic versions, you know, something like this. And then, once you reach level 12, you'll start getting the more advanced versions, like perhaps this one over here that I made. And at level 25 is when you'll find sniper versions of it, as well as the flamethrower version. Ooh, which actually, this was the flamethrower version, wasn't it? Yes, it was! So instead, imagine at level 12, you get this one. The tactical Zap Blaster, which is a fully automatic machine gun. Good times, good times. So yeah, there is a lot to this. You can find it on loads of enemies, build it, and there's even a tiered list of what you'll find on enemies. Now, I called this one the standard version of the gun because this is the exact weapon you are going to get when you build it at a crafting station, at the chemistry station. It will come with all of these modifications, including the bayonet. And I made like 12 of them, and so yes, they all came out exactly the same as you can see here. But of course, in the world, you'll find it with all sorts of other things. Now, let's head on over to the weapon workbench and take a look at the different modifications we do have. First category being for the sort of capacitor stuff, where we've got a whole list of custom ones, like the toaster capacitor, a Protectron arm one that'll help with critical shot damage and accuracy, a Mr. Handy or Mr. Gutsy one, which is gonna be more that flamethrower thing, adding in burn damage. It's got Robco power capacitors, Sentry Bot arm crystals, General Atomic Fusion capacitors, Assaultron head crystals, Corvega engine thrusters, which is just wonderfully hilarious, and finally the Mass Fusion beryllium capacitor, which is going to give you by far the best damage on this thing. Very cool. We got a lot of fun things in here. Now next in, I don't exactly know what to call this category here, but it's the front end of the gun, where we have things like the welded tube, which is standard. You can also go with wooden insulation, which apparently will add better range and faster handling, a quick charge capacitor for, you know, faster semi-auto fire, a rapid induction phaser for fully automatic, the combustion exciter, which is what actually creates the proper flamethrower damage, and a particle accelerator, which is really good for those sniping guns you may want to build. It's a lot of fun options here. We then have in the grip category the pretty typical stuff of either a short wooden grip, a standard stock, an improved capacity grip, which will actually help with the ammo capacity, and then an improved capacity stock. Very cool. Now, then we also do have the magazines, where we have either a standard improved, or you can switch it up to a fusion core conversion kit, which will dramatically lower the damage of this thing, but of course dramatically increase the ammo capacity. So for full auto or the flamethrower versions you want to go with this thing, this might be the way to go, even with the drastic amount of damage reduction. We then have the sight category, which is mostly iron sights. We got nothing, a glow sight, iron sight, improved iron sight, and then we do have a reflex sight, short combat scope, and a long scope. Very nice there. And finally, we have the sort of muzzle category, where we either have nothing, a knife bayonet, a beam focuser, or a beam splitter. Very cool. Now, the beam focuser, beam splitter, and knife bayonet and all, you do gotta watch out when you do go for, this category, the stuff that adds to the end, because if you go with one, say for instance like the combustion exciter or the particle accelerator, you can no longer put a muzzle attachment onto it. But these other three here all do allow you to continue to have that category, so always do keep that in mind. Now, let's actually take a look at this thing firing, though while I'm grabbing my modified guns, I should also mention, should have mentioned it before, there is some DLC requirements for this thing to function. You are going to need the Automatron and Nuka World DLCs. Now, once you have that installed and get yourself one of these lovely things, you can go and fire. As you can see, it is very slow with the standard gun. It's basically a bolt-action energy weapon, which I'm actually kind of cool with. But, you know, once you get those modifications in there, you can speed up the bolt-action bit. You can make it fully, properly semi-automatic, fully automatic, etc. But in the basic form, yeah, it's real slow. There you go, you whack in another fusion cell there. Let's go take a look at some of the other ones I made. I love the sniper rifle one here. This was, I believe, the highest amount of damage I was able to do with it, with 20 physical, 115 energy, and the 5 radiation damage with that, fun particle accelerator on there. And just, oh, it looks great. I love it. So let's go and use that one. Also got the short scope on there and take some shots. Again, this one is with the more bolt action setting, but a much more interesting and unique sound, different from the last one we did have. There we go. Good times, good times. Now let's switch on over to the Zap Blaster that I made. This one is fully automatic, does also have the beam splitter, so it's basically a fully automatic shotgun, and that's pretty wonderful, as you can see here. Just look at that magnificent spread. Did also put a reflex on it. This one is very hard to control compared to the previous two we shot, because it is kicking all over the place, which is, you know, weird for energy weapons, but the mod maker did have a little bit of a reason in there. Since it's makeshift, he said, imagine there's moving components on the inside making that happen, which is, you know, it works. And finally, I did make the vaporizer with the fusion cell, and yeah, it's a flamethrower. Which for some reason, I put a reflex sight onto. Good times, but look at that. And the range is pretty good. Look at that. We've got the flamethrower on there, and we've lit up our targets. It's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And using that fusion cell, it'll keep going for a while, which is pretty wonderful. But these guns are not all you get. I told you we get to more things you get in this mod. There is also 3 makeshift turrets. Makeshift Zap Gun turrets that you can also grab. So let's just quickly go into the build mode here. And of course, you're going to find these lovely new turrets over in defense. Then in the turret category, where we have ourselves the standard Zap Gun turret, adding in 8 defense there, requiring 2 electricity, and 1 in science for you to build it. We then have the automatic Zap Gun turret, giving you 12 defense and requiring rank 3 in science. And then finally, we have the antimatter Zap Gun turret, giving you 15 defense and requiring rank 4 in science. And yeah, it's pretty great just having these little zap guns added on to some turrets here. It is a pretty cool, just a fun, neat little addition. Now, I actually haven't seen these things function yet, so we're gonna spawn a Deathclaw right here. See how this goes. I'm probably still going to die, but go, Deathclaw! Get shot by everything! Oh, look at it. It is getting torn apart by these things. It is dead. It is dead and freaking out. Magnificent. Well, burn the evidence. There we go. Alright, let's actually get out one of our guns and let's quickly just deactivate these things. You know, we might as well just pack them all up. But yeah, it's pretty cool that we get also, besides all the cool guns and modifications, some freaking turrets with these things. That is pretty darn cool. Let's go for the automatic, because that's just fun and kind of wacky. And let's go ahead and spawn ourselves another Deathclaw. Run, 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 run. Okay, hello you, and fire. Ooh boy. You know, didn't do a whole lot of damage there with that, with the rounds I had, but you know what? You know what? After a few magazines, or fusion cells rather, we may be able to take him down. We've already got him down to half. Yes, my friend, come over to me more. Stay here, with our giant, just weird shotgun with the spread. Oh my god, the spread on that thing. Look at it as it goes into the distance. It's kind of crazy. I'm basically making that whole hill awash with energy rounds. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. Pay attention to the enemy. Oh, I'm crippled, of course. Of course I'm crippled. Okay, well, let's do that. And you know what? Finish him off with the flamethrower. Let's get back down there. Come back, friend. I just need to vaporize you a bit. And oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, the vaporizing isn't going well. It's not killing him quickly. There we go. He's dead. Beautiful. Beautiful. You gotta love it. There's just so many different kinds of guns you can make with this thing, with the different modifications from sniper rifles to full automatic machine guns to, of course, flamethrowers. You got fun things all over the place you can do with it, and plus, it's just neat having a cool new makeshift energy weapon. Plus the freaking turrets. That's just awesome. So if you'd like to have a look at this gun for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.